on Burlington, in Baalbek, to realize a dream and take it home. It has doorstep. Its voices from the clouds calling for instructions, approaching his end.
United DC-7, you are now cleared number 1 to land runway 28 left. The wind is still west-northwest 17. Hello, San Francisco Tower. This is United DC-7, 3 minutes northwest. Okay, United DC-7, I have you in sight 3 minutes northwest.
Japan Air 002, clear to runway 15.
Quebec Foxtrot, you are clear for landing on runway 34. Surface wind 320 at 8 knots. Call downwind, over.
Trans-Canada 230, Montreal Tower, runway 10, wind 110 degrees, 11 mph, cleared. A direct approach, altimeter 30.1.
Aquí Torre Lima Tambo, libre para entrar tráfico en pista 16, viento sur, 8 nudos, altímetro 10.5, clear to enter traffic for runway 16.
A few hours back, they were taking off from all the airports everywhere. They leveled the mountains, teloped the oceans, shoveled the prairies and the deserts. Now, one every 5 seconds, they're coming in. We come down the gangways in our thousands every day. And whatever we've come here to do, to buy some cattle maybe, or to pay a family visit, to sign a contract, seal a treaty, leave no avenue unexplored, to make a picture or to win some prizes, or perhaps to see an old man for the first time. The air is ours, to serve our purposes. $70 million of us every year already, for whom the patience and the planning, the exacting standards set in common, have made a third dimension real. To whom, for the first time, or the 100th, the clouds have sung their song of wonder. Then we've gone. And there's a moment's pause for ground crews to refuel, to inspect and check, to see to all the host of things that complete the turnaround. In the air, it's been a day like any other. But what has it meant for just a few among the thousands who have passed it in the sky? It has taken Kilmarnock halfway to the Arctic Ocean. It has brought Caracas to Maturin, made a man's business easier, fulfilled his promise to deliver. It has sent... The air is filling up, getting crowded, almost like the roads. Here's one way they're tackling. 3 times a week, the plane brings in the mail and papers, pumps the groceries and hardware, doesn't forget old Manuel's medicine. On the return trip, it takes the local produce out to market. And these days, Pucallpa's typical. Millions of people who have never flown themselves are looking to the sky for life and livelihood. Move to Brussels, London, or New York and see the same thing, only more so. Over the big cities, just as in the far-off outback, people are taking the air. This might be almost anywhere. It happens to be a village called Pucallpa, miles from anywhere in the heart of Peru. Sleep from Bombay over the Arabian Sea.
Ciel nuageux 4 à 6 huitièmes par strato, Q et Q, base 2500 pieds, sommet 18 000 pieds. Localement cumulonimbus, sommet 30 000 pieds avec risque orage.
Or again, this aircraft, heading up country from Accra over the hot hills of Africa. Going to Tamale on urgent business. Half an hour yet. Those engines out there, keep it up. A few minutes might make all the difference. Standards again. For behind the steady note of all the engines flying in all the aircraft, there's a common code of maintenance. Visual checks, terminal transit checks, rated checks, and after every 1,400 hours or so in the air, complete strip down and overhaul. To the inmost innards of the plane, nothing left unexamined. And the ships, in turn, are meshed in with hundreds of weather stations round the world. It never stops. Observations recorded round the clock over the Atlantic, of sausage skins from Iran to the stockyards of Chicago. They say air cargo's in its infancy, but you can see the scale it's moving into. Or this plane, heading out over the Pacific, eastbound from Japan. His first venture into the big world, and his first visit to a crew in the cockpit. What makes a crew? Training, and above all, training up to standards accepted everywhere. And here another body makes its contribution. The International Civil Aviation Organization, an agency of the United Nations. Concerned with the intergovernmental aspects of flying, one of ICAO's functions is to provide technical assistance to countries becoming air-minded. Where safety is concerned, nationalism has no place. In training for airline work, you've got to make sure that a Mexican pilot can land an American plane under instructions from an Indian controller using Dutch radio equipment. That's right, young man. Have fun while you can. Soon you'll be under the cold of a tight-lipped airline captain who doesn't believe in giving passengers ground for complaint. Or this Stratocruiser, out in mid-Atlantic, bound for Montreal. In 1927, the Spirit of St. Louis made the crossing in 33 hours. Margaret Fleming now in 14. But Lindbergh didn't have the international support behind him that she does today. There are 21 of these ships maintaining 9 weather stations in the North Atlantic. They fly or this aircraft, crossing northern Venezuela from Caracas to Maturin. He set out with a lot to do en route. Export-import business, forms to fill in, cargoes to move, and buyers waiting for them. And just as one ticket takes a passenger around the world, so one airway bill will take a piece of freight to anywhere. And what do the freighters haul? The faithful, plodding cargo planes you don't hear much about. Almost anything these days, from isotopes and oysters to machines and magazines. Some lines carry more animals than human beings, and there's always the heavy stuff. There's a brisk move. Look, for example, at this aircraft, approaching the shores of the Levant. They've just 3 weeks, remember, to see the Middle East. 3 weeks, and so much to see. Let's not go here, let's go there instead. But what about the tickets? Can we change them? None of them now. No place on this earth is... The engines settle to their cruising note. The galley gets down to work. How to keep people occupied through a long, smooth, steady flight across the blue dome of the sky. Books and magazines, of course. Route maps and picture postcards for the aunt you forgot to say goodbye to. How to keep people occupied? This is one way that never fails. And art's genius of the peoples, all of them. But as much as the brilliance of the scientists and the daring of the pioneers, it's been the patience of the organizers. Patience and collaboration. Home is suddenly a toy town. It may be Miami or Beirut you leave behind. It may be Cairo or Sydney, or the grandeur of Rome or Rio that's dwindling into Vermont, Dorothy Gerstein and Irene Cooper, school teachers, with 3 weeks to see the Middle East and bring it home. Who travels? Everybody. It used to be for the first-class few. But now, with tourist fares, the air's for all. For the world, his wife and child. Sometimes even his... Goodbye, good trip, and happy landings.
This is the captain speaking to you from the flight deck. We're about to take off now. Fasten your lap straps, please. And no smoking till we're airborne. Thank you.
And the aircraft herself, what of her? She'll probably be a Douglas, a Boeing, or a Lockheed Constellation, a Convair or a Vickers Viscount. She'll weigh as much as 60 tons and carry a crew of up to 10. She'll travel at 300 miles an hour or more and fly at any height from 5 to 30,000 feet.
Go Foxtrot November, clear to Amsterdam. Process from 2,000, 703,000. To climb under radar and obtain 15,000 feet.
Runway 17, the wind south-southwest 5.
Hotel Foxtrot, your traffic is decent now on final and DC3 living pattern outbound heading for 180 degrees. Over.
Clipper 100, you're cleared to taxi to runway 25 left by taxiway Charlie and runway 13 left.
You're cleared to taxi to runway 25 left by taxiway Charlie and runway 13 left. The wind is southwest at 12.
They taxi out from the aprons to the runways, slowly turn and stop for the final check.
Before takeoff check,
Auto feathering,
arm green light on.
alternators,
Race set on, voltage normal.
propeller pitch,
Fully fine.
mixture control,
Auto rich lock on.
fuel valves,
Check tank to engine.
booster pump,
On normal.
generators,
All on.
ignition switches,
Check down both.
controls and trim tabs.
Controls are free.
Engines ready for takeoff.
Ready for takeoff.
Ready for takeoff, sir.
Stand by for takeoff.
And again, who traveled? Juan Perez. Each passenger gets a free allowance of baggage. On a long-distance flight, it adds up to about 2 tons in the hold. Then there's the mail, mountains of it. These days, the air carries the equivalent of 15 letters around the world every week.